Well, hey there, and welcome to our guided meditation for this week. As I create this particular meditation, there is a full moon eclipse just about ready to happen in the skies. And we here in the North and South Americas are going to be able to see it, which is exciting indeed. And this particular full moon eclipse finds itself in the Pisces Virgo axis, which is all about details, perfectionism. It's about forgiveness. It's about compassion. It's about service. And of course, these are all the very best qualities of this particular axis. The shadow aspects, which are neither good nor bad, but just exist as a polarity to service, is martyrdom. It can be perfection to the point of self-loathing, impeding your own growth because you can't ever move forward because everything has to be so perfect, whatever that is. It can be getting so lost in the details that you never get anywhere at all. You never actually live life because you're so busy just living in the tiny minutia of things, always trying to make them be just a little bit better rather than just giving it the best you've got and allowing that to be perfect. You see, this axis is a lot about allowing ourselves to be the perfect beings that we already are, without all the self-improvement. I have a friend recently who said to me, I'm really just so tired of always trying to self-improve. And that is what can happen if we get stuck in the shadow of doing shadow work. So today, as we sit under this beautiful eclipse, we're going to allow ourselves to get maybe a little bit silly, experience a childlike wonder, and use our imagination in a way that maybe we're not used to. Maybe we'll allow ourselves to imagine the fantastical. And so today, as you find yourself getting comfortable wherever you are, and this is one of those I think that you could do driving to work. You could do this meditation while you're out for a walk, doing the dishes, getting the laundry done, what have you. So today, just get yourself comfortable and create an intention as you become aware of your breath. Just an easy breath in through your nose and a breath back out. Really just becoming aware that you are breathing. Just simple. Let's keep it simple today. Let's not get lost in the weeds. Just a simple breath in and a breath out. Just normal, easy breathing. And in this space, if you could imagine yourself as an animal, what animal would that be? So let's start with a sea animal. If you could imagine yourself to be any kind of sea animal, water animal, what would it be? Would it be an otter, full of play and mischief? Would it be a seal or a penguin? Would you be a fish, a dolphin, a whale? I know what I would be. I have always loved the octopus. I can relate to the octopus. So as you start to imagine yourself as a sea animal, a water baby of sorts, see how you can find yourself inside that animal, being that water baby. What would it feel like to be spending most of your time in the water? Maybe you're an animal that can actually breathe in the water. And then exhale and stay in the water. Or maybe you're one of those animals that has to surface for air. I encourage you to use your imagination to think on what it would be like to be one of those water baby animals. To have the water inside and outside of you. To imagine the personality of that particular animal. Is it an animal that loves to swim in a school of many others? Or is it more of a solo solitary? And maybe as you're breathing and imagining this animal as you, maybe as you get quiet, you can hear a message that this particular water baby would give you. You could just be still and let your childlike wonder envelop this whole adventure of living and breathing and having your being in water. Could it be like Nemo and it's just go with the flow, enter into the current. There is no try. Just get to the edge and the current will pull you in. Your only job is to just get to the edge. Or maybe your message is stay at the surface. That's where the most fun is. Or maybe the message is go a little deeper. Be brave. You're safe. You can do this. You were made for this. Go a little deeper. And just bring to mind that message and now let it go. And become aware of your breath again. Maybe wiggle your toes and make a fist and open your hand and make a fist and open your hand again. Wiggle your shoulders and come back into the body that you have now. And now, maybe it would be fun to use that childlike curiosity, that right brain creative aspect of your being, to imagine yourself as an animal that finds its home in the woods, in the depths of the woods, like a forest. Maybe you are a lion or a giraffe. Maybe you're a bear. Maybe you're a cheetah or a tiger. What could you be? What animal calls to you? What animal says, imagine yourself as this? Maybe you're a zebra. And then imagine, what would this animal be like to be? Does it run very quickly? Or is it as slow and steady wins the race? So if you imagine yourself, say, let's think about the message that this animal could be offering you. If you're a turtle, maybe it's saying, you got this. In the end, you win. Just keep going. It's okay if you're slow. That's not a worry. You cross the finish line. You finish the race. Keep on. Or maybe this turtle says, you have a very hard shell, but you and I both know on the inside it's because you're just so tender. You're just so vulnerable. Every so often you stick your head out because you are just so tender. So be compassionate with yourself. You're not like the other animals. You're an old soul. Or maybe you imagined yourself as a rhinoceros. And this rhinoceros is like, I know what I want and I'm gonna bark for it. And it just opens its mouth and it hurls out a roar that can be rippled and heard and felt throughout the forest. Or maybe you're a buffalo or a bison, and you realize that you like to be in a group of like-minded individuals and to graze upon each other's company and the land. And that feels really good. And you got a real thick fur and you can handle just about any kind of weather. Anything that happens, you got this. You have each other. Or maybe you imagine yourself a zebra. And the zebra's message is, listen, there's only black and white. You've got to get out of the gray zone. Choose. Today is the day that you choose. You can't go wrong. We need both the black and the white. We need both of those polarities for action to happen. But as long as you stay in the gray zone, there's no movement. So today, choose. Or maybe you imagine yourself as the lion. And you find yourself saying, I feel responsible. Yes, I may be the king, but it's only because I feel responsible for everything and everyone. And I'm okay with that. I can handle it. I'm on the lookout to make sure everybody is okay and safe and secure. And lastly, maybe you're like what my kids call me, the mama bear. And you protect your cubs no matter what. And you're okay with people misunderstanding you because you're all about your babies. Nothing's going to come between you and your little ones. What message does your animal that walks on land have for you today? Thank you, land animals, for the message. And now as you breathe, you can let that go. This is fun, isn't it? It's kind of fun having a childlike wonder. Come back into your body and wiggle your shoulders and let your belly fill up with a big full breath all the way down so that your belly button goes out, 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 out and makes a big fat Buddha belly and then releases. And now, lastly, why don't we go ahead and imagine all of the air animals, the ones that fly, these big broad wings. Imagine what air animal you would be. Wouldn't it be fun maybe to be an eagle, a bald eagle, way up there high in the nest? Or maybe you can imagine yourself as an owl, or a bat, or a wren, or a bluebird, cardinal. Maybe you're a butterfly, dragonfly, or a bee. Heck, maybe you're a mosquito. What animal calls to you? What animal would it be fun to kind of climb into and imagine yourself being? Feeling the wind and soaring with the current. Sometimes flapping and sometimes just allowing the current to take you. And now, Now, it would be kind of fun, I think, to imagine what's the message that this animal that you've selected or that has selected you has for you. If you're an owl, maybe this message is that you only come out at night. You only come out at night, but you have the wisdom of the ancients. And maybe you're more of a solo type creature. Or maybe you can imagine yourself as that bald eagle, understanding that you are so rare. You are so unique. There's none like you, and there are few in the world like you. You are precious because you are endangered. You're an endangered species, and we have to be careful around you to not hurt you. And we want to honor you. Maybe that's the message of your animal. Or maybe you're a bluebird or a wren or a finch. Or maybe you're a hummingbird. And maybe your spirit animal is telling you, let's play more. Let's flit about more. Let's stick our noses in the flowers and take that information to another set of flowers. Let's be part of this pollination process. Let's be part of this expansion, but let's keep it fun and light. Maybe you can imagine yourself as a bird that flies south with a bunch of its friends because it gets cold up north. And so you go with the group, part of that V formation. You find your place and you travel together like a snowbird. And then when it's time, you come back up north and you reestablish. You find that area where the nest was last year and you start making another one. And what's the message there? There's a season and a time for everything, maybe. Don't get too stuck somewhere. Seasons change. And so do we. Be flexible. On the other hand, maybe you're one of those birds that sticks around all winter long. And like my father-in-law does, feeds the birds. You rely on other people to provide for you because it gets cold and there's not as much vegetation, and so you really wait for those bird feeders to be filled up. And what's the message there? The message is maybe it's okay to rely on other people. Not only okay, maybe that's why you're here. Part of your experience here as consciousness awakening to itself and having a most amazing adventure is that you get to know what it's like to be on the receiving end of other people's generosity for seasons of time. And that it's part of your survival is to be reliant on other people's generosity, their kindness, their awareness of you, and their love for you. And so to eat of that and let those seeds fall down deep into your belly, knowing that you are loved. We could go on and on, couldn't we? This has been fun. Thank you for a most unique experience, imagining what it would be like to be either a water baby or a forest dweller or an air animal, a flyer. This has been fun. I think that God is always speaking to us. We as human beings, we forget to be still sometimes. We get out of the habit because, let's face it, life is loud and busy and we're easily distracted. And then over time we form a habit of forgetting that the answer always lies within. Whatever the question is, the answer is always attached to the breath and within. But we forget. And so God is so generous as to speak to us through the world outside of us. So in gratitude, I close our time together. We let go of the messages and never cling too desperately to the messages, remembering that it's the one who offers the message that's most important. That's the one really that we're seeking, the one within, the message giver. So again, become aware of your body, kind of leaning side to side in your chair if you're sitting or standing, and wiggling and shaking around a little bit. Maybe even offering a smile out to the universe. And from your heart space, feeling a gratitude well up that we are able to hear messages and remember who we are as a part of it all, as it all. And what a beautiful thing that is. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to our next gathering. Peace be with you all as we go inward and upward.